We hope you liked the documentary that you just saw. Points to really grasp from the documentary is really not to worry about if your food is organic or if it's really locally made, but more of the less of educating yourself. And I think that's the whole point that sociology is trying to perspect to us. The challenge of trying to learn as much as we can about different cultures and about our own and not to be so in, ethnocentric or biased because when you think about it, we can only grow as human beings if we learn from one another. I think that was the whole point of this. There's a lot of knowledge that can be said and that can be taught. But if you don't talk to one another, you're not really grasping the personal experience or the personal challenges that people face. Sure, you can read in a book, sure, you can look at a video like this and say, oh, I didn't know that, oh, I'm learning this, I'm learning that. But when you think about it, why don't we all have people that we can talk to, or we all can try. It's as easy as planting seeds, or by changing one habit at a time. Because we do live in a society that's heavily on anorexia, bulimia, obesity, and other depression, and they're not only first world problems, but they're also third world problems, where there's malnutrition, there's some deficiencies which cause like Will Prider, chromosome 15. Remember that from my last test, and things like that. Even though we're predisposed to things like sugar, fat, and salt, it doesn't really mean that we have to hinge solely on that. As you can see from the presentations and the documentary, that different countries adapt in different ways, which are pretty cool. And sometimes we have to take away our own aversions to try to understand the greatness in trying to learn a different culture. Globalization is not really a bad thing when used in moderation, just like everything else. Sure, we're going to have the conflicts like with lactose, how the rule is not really the exception because a lot of people are lactose intolerant, but unless Canada, Food Guy, and American stop over glorifying it with vitamins, then we're still going to have to drink it because those are the only respect they get. And I understand trying to protect your own, but in the sense, we also have to have some truth. Not saying that milk is bad because it does provide a lot of things like calcium, but there's other ways that, and I think the masses should be known, gluten free, and what they really put in the food, like fructose, which actually has the same addiction similar to dopamine and when the brain reacts because we get a high off it as oh we need more and then after a while or the same thing with spiciness. I think also just grabbing that openness and that ability to just reenact what you know and try to do better and not beat yourself when you don't go on the diet because as humans we're omnivores and we're not meant to be like that. You could look throughout history. We always had to travel around the world to get our supplies because if we only eat the same thing, where we overuse it and then we have to go on. There's plenty of food around to share. We just have to get the governments, the countries, but also individuals to understand that if we care for one another, it betters ourselves. As is plain in the farmers market, as yes, they are competitors, but they're also friends. So by having healthy competition, you feel better about it because you know that that guy's trying to push you and not take you out the market. So I hope this was educational for you and for us. And if you have a chance to get the other links to the deviant art for some of the drawings or some of you in the poetry we wrote, because we're trying to show that for to understand this better or to get a better grasp of health, we cannot only do it through schools, internet. We also have to find other means because it's so important to diversify and also to try to engage in what people like and not try to bore them all the time. This is why it was, and I think it went well. Hopefully, you guys liked the drawing, liked what we did. We could have another one. Thanks.